So it's been a week since Battlefield Hardline released, and I must say, I'm thoroughly disappointed in my teammates. I go into first-person shooters with very low expectations for teammates, so much so that in each of my Battlefield 4 guides, I encourage the viewer to make a private squad in solo if no friends are online, because I consider public teammates to be such a liability that if you're doing anything requiring stealth, you're better off without them. Thou shalt set your squad to private. Public players usually don't care about protecting your beacon. If no one you know is online, it will usually be better to be in your own private squad. However, since Hardline's launch, I've made several distinct observations. I see less friendly spawn beacons on the map than I did in Battlefield 4, and for most rounds, mine is the only one the team has. I've only seen a teammate beacon 4 times so far, despite it being a mechanic item, the mechanics having exclusive access to body armor, and one of the best weapons in the game, the K-10. The mobile command post, essentially a team-wide spawn point, often sits in the base doing nothing and is rarely taken unless other vehicles are unavailable. I even waited for several minutes on 2 occasions, hoping to see someone else show affection to it. But no one came. It sat there alone, unused, unloved, until Papa Balthazar came to give it some self-confidence and reassurance that it was useful. I took it out for a night out on the swamp to some cover near an objective, and it was having the time of its life. Then as soon as I got out, someone else hopped in and drove it across an open area swarming with enemies, and it died horribly in a few seconds because mobile spawn points in Hardline die in a single rocket hit.
Spotted their central command truck!
That escalated quickly.
Though that does bring to light one redeeming quality. While you can't spawn with rockets, you can easily obtain an RPG with 2 shots on maps with vehicles by pulling one out of a car's trunk, and I've seen several players do this. I've yet to see anyone else start themselves with 4 shots, but in the abstract, isn't it a bad thing for this to be considered a redeeming quality? Shouldn't expectations be higher than picking up an item? It feels like I'm grasping at straws to find a reason the player base isn't comprised of drunken monkeys. Sure, the occasional assassin ninja 1337 has followed me on my grappling hook adventures, but I feel it's not as common as it should be with the amount of utility the grappling hook offers. I've yet to have more than 2 at any one time. Or maybe the rest missed the jump and died a horrible death splattering against concrete. But anyway, moving on. I've seen large groups of players charge toward enemy-held objectives straight across open ground with several spotted enemies in front of them only to die horribly time after time. All of these problems exist in other games too, of course, but they seem noticeably increased in Hardline, more so than would be expected for a release or that I recall seeing from Battlefield 3 or 4 shortly after release. And people still seem perplexed by the concept of a door, despite the interaction icon that appears when you go near one. Doors are currently such an effective barrier that while I could trap them to protect a beacon, if it's not a highly trafficked area, I usually don't feel the need to, at least not for the current state of the player base. The worst example I've seen so far is someone in Heist carrying an objective, struggling to get through a door, hopping up and down and whacking it with a baseball bat until I came and opened it for him. Now, I know some people may not believe me when I say this, but doors actually exist in real life. In fact, one came with the Ultra Master Sergeant Shooter Person Super Collector's Edition. And I can open it, and I can close it again, and I can open it again. I know, it's crazy, right? You totally jelly. Admit it. You totally jelly about my door, bro. Ski. Okay, look, I understand that doors are new to the Battlefield series, but it's a door. People should have the skills to operate a door. Maybe what Hardline needs is a set of tutorials. We'll add in some achievements to completing door training and a patch and an icon that indicates certification for door opening, and suddenly everyone will want it. Or maybe people going through a door should grant assist points to the person who opened it, since they took it upon themselves to take on the monumental task of opening the mighty door for the benefit of all. There should totally be a door-opening medal. Seriously, though, I'm wondering if I've just been very unlucky with the observations I've made over the past week, or if the player base for Hardline has indeed suffered some sort of noticeable decrease compared to Battlefield 4, which I didn't look at fondly in the first place. So if you're playing Hardline and have any observations about the players that seem noteworthy to you, be they positive or negative, please do leave a comment about your experiences, because from what I've seen, the players seem markedly more awful than usual. Have you had similar experiences with either your teammates or with enemies? For the moment, though, I have no choice but to award the Hardline player base 5 drunken monkeys out of 5, with a final verdict of bath salts and pull up your damn pants. Even though this video was more of a short community interaction sort of thing, insert standard end of video pandering here, and I'll see you next time. Later, YouTube.